Hello everyone, today we start learning Unit 1. Unit 1 is about presentation skill. I think that you have conducted several presentations when you study at university, but I don't know if you have done good presentation or not. However, when we finish Unit 1, I think that you are able to conduct a good presentation. Now let's start with the word presentation. Everyone, so what is a presentation? Presentation is a means of communication which can be adapted to various speaking situations, such as talking to a group, addressing a meeting, or briefing a team. In short, presentation can be the situation in which you deliver your speech to the audience. Today we mainly focus on how to prepare a good presentation. Here are the content that I'm going to talk in my presentation today. So the first one, choose the right topic. The second, know your audience. The third, brainstorm. The fourth, do your research. The fifth, plan your presentation. The sixth, draft or write your presentation. The seventh, create visual aid. The eighth, expected question. The ninth, practice the presentation. And the last one, prepare the room for your presentation. Before I start my presentation, I would like all of you to answer these three questions first. So the first question, do you feel confident when you conduct your presentation? Why? So if you feel confident, why? If you don't feel confident, why? And the second question, what should you do before you do your presentation? And the third, how many presentation steps will walk you through how to prepare for a presentation from the beginning to the end of your presentation. And I really want all of you to remember your answer, because I want you to compare your answer after my presentation. So do you still have the same answer of these three questions after I end my presentation, or you don't have? Let's continue, everyone. Actually, there are 10 presentation steps. These 10 presentation steps will walk you through how to prepare for a good presentation from the beginning to the end of our presentation. So you can feel confident when you prepare to give a presentation. So the first step is to choose the right topic. One of the more important presentation preparation tips is to pick the right topic for your presentation. When you choose the right topic for your presentation can be very interesting. So it can draw the audience attention. But the thing is that how can you choose the right topic for your presentation? Choose a topic you are passionate about. It will make it easy to give an animated and appealing presentation. So when you choose a topic that you really love, this can make you easy to draw the audience attention. It is also easy for you to make the interesting presentation for the audience. Pick your topic based on your knowledge and skill, so that you can wow your audience with the information you include. When you choose the topic that you are knowledgeable, you have several ideas that we can include in your presentation. So your presentation can grab the audience attention. Do a data-driven presentation based on the latest statistics on a topic of interest, plus your expert opinion and conclusion. We need to make sure that the statistics that we use in our presentation must be updated. Because the audience need this kind of statistics. They really want to know this kind of information. And then select a presentation topic that related to your business goal. You need to make sure that when we select the topic, the topic must relate to your objective, your goal. Because you conduct your presentation in order to benefit you and the audience. The second step, know your audience. So why do we need to know our audience? It's easy to adapt our speak to the audience. Understanding who you are presenting to help you select appropriate data, the data that the audience needs. And it can enable you to use the language which is appropriate to the level of the audience. So when we know the audience, we also know the level of, the language level of the audience. It's easy for all of you to use the language in your presentation which fit with the level of the audience. Therefore, the audience can understand your speech clearly. Step 3. Brainstorm. Select the main idea for the message and gather additional information for the presentation. You generate ideas based on the audience need. So when you brainstorm, you get main idea and you also get additional information that we need to use in our presentation. And we can get information that the audience needs. So when we have this kind of information and the idea, we feel very confident in our presentation. Step 4. Do your research. Search for supporting information such as recent news or feature the latest statistics taken from reliable sources like here. Here is the sources that we can get the information from, and the information is reliable. Be careful whatever the idea you present are supported by fact based on intensive survey and thorough research. So when we use information to support our idea in our presentation, we need to make sure that this information is reliable. That's why the audience really want to get this kind of information. So in order to get this kind of information from you, they have to pay attention to your presentation. So your presentation become very interesting. Step 5. Plan your presentation. Bring together ideas from your brainstorm and information from your research and organize them into a rough outline. So we need to make outline based on information that we get from brainstorm. A good way to do this is with heading for different part of your presentation and bullet point with fact, quote and statistic. By the end of the process, you will have a pretty good idea of the content of your slide. Okay, so when we get the idea, the information from the previous step, we need to put under the heading. So these become the content of your presentation. And after that, you include this information based on the heading. For your presentation, I mean that we can write the information in our slide under the heading. Okay, so now we move on. Step 6. Organize the data and write the draft. After gathering your information for preparing a presentation, it is time to put order and organize your data. And after that, you need to convert the data into logical order to write the draft for final preparing a presentation. And after that, we need to format a speech for our presentation. A good speech follows the following 3-part formats. The first one, introduction, the second, body, and the last, summary or conclusion. In order to have a good presentation, we need 3 parts, as I have presented here: introduction, body, and summary or conclusion. Introduction. We need to include the point that can get attention of the audience. Include the aim and purpose, layout, the direction of the speech. In order to do so, we use the PAL formula. Okay, P stands for the word porch. These are your opening remarks. So you may begin with a question, quotation, a reference to the occasion, startling question, a reference to the past, or humorous story. So we can use one or more of the choices to make an attention-grabbing start. So we start our presentation by using one of or more than one of the choices to draw the audience attention. A means that M, you state your purpose and aim of your remark clearly and straight away. So when you start your presentation, we need to tell the audience the purpose of our presentation. what the audience get after our presentation, what we want the audience to know after our presentation. And L stands for layout. Give the audience a precise understanding of the major point you will cover in your speech. In other words, it is the roadmap for what follows the introduction. So we need to tell the audience what the content of our presentation, or what we cover in our presentation, and it can help you at the roadmap. When you do your presentation, you have to follow this map. Therefore, you don't lose your way, and your presentation goes smoothly. And the second part of our presentation is body. It is the main part of your speech that consists of the message you want to convey. It includes a detailed discussion of the point. It is called the discussion part of the head of the message. The argument can be supported with evidence data for the central claim. So body play important role in our presentation because we need to express our main idea and the additional information that we use to support our idea, and the information must be reliable. Okay, so now we move on, everyone. The last part of our presentation is called summary or conclusion. We need to sum up our speech in the last part of our presentation, and we also emphasize what you want to convey. Make sure that to end your speech with the words that resonate in the ear and mind of your audience even after your speech. So we need to use the wonderful word to end our presentation that make the audience really want to further their listening to our presentation even we end our presentation. And this word can get the audience that this word can have the audience want to listen to our presentation again. The seventh step is to create visual aids. Visual aids are useful devices to get your message across the audience effectively. They help you not only to explain your viewpoint but also make your audience focus their attention on what you are displaying. You can use chart, graphic, images, a whiteboard, etc. They can help make your point and keep your audience attention. So visual aid play very important role for your presentation. It can enable the audience to understand your explanation clearly. Step 8. Expected question. Expected question refer to the question that we think that the audience will ask when we conduct our presentation. After you end your presentation, there one more way to make your presentation great, that is to prepare question. So how can we prepare question? Think about what people might ask about your presentation content and be ready with answer. So we think about the question that the audience will ask you, and you also think about the answer that you have to reply to the question that the audience asks. Consider how to deliver your presentation to lead people to ask certain questions that you are prepared for. So when you conduct your presentation, you need to lead the audience to ask some question that you have already prepared for them. And you also prepare an answer for when you have got no answer, so that you are not left wondering. Okay, so you also think the answer that you can answer when you don't know the answer. You don't know the answer of the question that the audience asks you. For example, you cannot tell the answer, but you can tell the sources that the audience can find the answer. Therefore, you don't feel upset. And step 9, practice the presentation. This is where you do a complete run through of your presentation with both your presentation script and the slide. So when you practice, you need to use both the script and the slide that you prepare for your presentation. And the thing that we need to use the script, because we just write the main idea in our slide for our presentation, and we write information that we use to explain the main idea in our script. So we need to use them in our practice. As you practice, pay attention to anything that doesn't flow or it's hard to say. And after that, you need to edit both your script and your presentation slide. In order to remove this item. So when we remove all of these items, you can present smoothly. Some people prefer to practice alone, but the other use a friend, a few friends, or trusted colleague as a test audience. For those who prefer to practice alone, they have to think about the presentation and they have to edit by themselves. However, for those who use a few friends or trusted colleagues as a test audience, they need the feedback from those people in order to improve the presentation. Keep practicing till you feel you know your material inside out. You keep practice until you understand what you are going to present clearly. Therefore, your presentation can go smoothly. And the last step is to prepare the room for your presentation. So we need to think about the presentation space. The space must be suitable for the number of the audience. And we also consider the presentation equipment. We need to prepare all the equipment for our presentation. So when we have enough space and enough presentation equipment, you can start your presentation smoothly and your presentation become very interesting. So when you have your interesting presentation, the audience must pay attention to your presentation, and then you can achieve your goal or your objective of your presentation. I think now that is all for my presentation. If you have any questions, you can ask me in our classroom meeting. Thank you so much for your pay attention to my presentation. See you next time. Good luck.